Okay, let me welcome you all to this webinar. I'm Dr. Gupta. I'm the president of IIHMR University. Along with me is sitting Dr. Joshi. Hi. He's professor of public health. And next to him is Mr. Raghuvanshi, Dr. Raghuvanshi. He is a PhD in management sciences. This webinar we are organizing for those who have shown interest in going into public health. As you might be aware, that the Johns Hopkins University and IIHMR University are organizing a cooperative program, cooperative Master of Public Health program in India. It's a 80 credit program which have to be completed in 2 years' time. About 35 credits are taught by Johns Hopkins faculty, and the remaining are taught by IIHMR faculty. This is a very unique program, unique in the sense that this is Johns Hopkins Master of Public Health program, which is ranked #1 in the world. The recent ranking of the American universities in the Newsweek, most recently, Johns Hopkins has consistently maintained its first rank in medical, clinical research, and public health. So the degree is awarded by the Johns Hopkins University. The whole idea of offering this program is to prepare professionals in the developing countries like ours: India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and likewise. Mainly, these are SAARC member countries, students who can seek admission in Master of Public Health program. This program is offered at a very subsidized tuition fee. At Hopkins, the tuition fee is $60,000 plus annually, plus living expenses and all that. That's about $20,000 or so. So in all, it's about $80,000 that cost you. But the program is same, the quality is same. It is also accredited by the highest body center, this Council for Education and Public Health. This MPH is accredited by them in United States, and it's globally recognized. So it is offered this year, or for last 2 years, the tuition fee is $22,000 only. And that includes travel to US for a period of 2 to 3 weeks, and all travel expenses, that is airfare and accommodation, is paid through this $20,000, no additional money needed. However, the students are required to pay for their food and all those things. So this is very unique. You get this world-renowned degree from the Johns Hopkins University at almost 1/3 the tuition fee. The whole idea behind this is to build capacity in this region and to provide opportunity to the people in this part of the world to get this opportunity to do their degree in Masters of Public Health, which is so famous and unique around the world. Interestingly, you might be interested in knowing this, that does it have the same credentials as if you do it from Johns Hopkins? The answer is yes. It has same global presence, global recognition, and at par with MPH when you do it from the main campus at Baltimore. We have started the application process for the cohort 3. Already the cohort 1, which started in 2013, has almost completed, and the degrees will be awarded on May 20th, 2015, here at IIHMR Jaipur. The students had option to go to Baltimore and take their degree over there, but none of them have decided to go to Baltimore, and they will receive degree here in the convocation at IIHMR. So the cohort 1 had 9 students in the program. We started cohort 2 in 2014, October this year, last year. This cohort is on. So they should be getting their degree in May 2016. That's right. That is cohort 2. Now we are in the process for admission to cohort 3. You might be aware that the admissions in the MPH program at the Johns Hopkins University main campus are closed. And now the admissions are open for the cooperative program here in India. Many of you have responded to the call for admission. Up till now, we have received 90 applications. There are more applications. The requests were close to 160, but we found 90 suitable. We screened them and recommended 60. How many?
For this, at this point of time, 60 candidates.
So we have cleared 60 applications out of 90, recommended to Johns Hopkins. The admissions will be done by the Johns Hopkins University. So we have recommended 60 applications for starting application process. We are in the process of reviewing the remaining 30 applications that we have, and we shall be sending them soon to Johns Hopkins admission office in Baltimore. I'm sure many of you might have received a welcome note from the Johns Hopkins for starting the application process. As I understand, many of you have started application process. You might have noted in the application process that you are required to go for credentialing of the document and submission of those documents to the admission office at Johns Hopkins. Well, I want to share with you now that credential documents are not needed for the students at this point of time. So you can submit your applications without credentialing, and a provisional admission will be given without credentialing. And if you get admission letter or acceptance letter for admission to the MPH program, then you can send your credentialed documents at the later stage when you are required to deposit fee. So this credentialing, which was a major hurdle, it takes about 2 to 3 months time when you start this process. We have tried to facilitate the potential and probable students to to facilitate this part, that the credentialing should not block the process of admission. So you will get your admission letters whenever you submit completed applications along with the documents which are necessarily required for application. So please do so. And once you receive your application acceptance letter from Hopkins, and thereafter you can submit the credentialed documents which are required. Now, I open this for discussion. If you have any issues, any questions, those who have started the application process, finding some difficulties in continuing with the application process, or those who have not received yet a letter from Hopkins on email to start application, they can also inform us, they can also tell us, so that we can take up this matter and the process can be started. As you might be aware, the deadline for receiving applications is August. 15th June is the deadline for receiving online applications. Yeah. So kindly do so. Don't be complacent. If you are interested in admission, please don't wait for tomorrow or for next week. Start doing it, complete it. If you find any problems, you can write to us here at IIHMR. We will be responding to your queries. Or if you have questions, those who have already started filling up application form, finding some problems or something is not clear, please tell us so that we can clarify. I have Dr. Joshi with me who will take your questions, and Dr. Raghuvanshi. Both of them will take your questions, who are actively engaged in this admission process in the MPH program. So let me welcome you once again, and we'll be happy to take your questions and your observations if you have any questions.
If I can add here, there are three, when Dr. Gupta was mentioning about documents, there are three important documents which you need to work on. The first one is the problem statement, which is your personal statement. And the second document which you need to submit is a letter of recommendation from 3 persons. And the third document is the transcript, original transcript from where which just tells that you have that particular minimum qualification. So these are 3 important documents, and these documents have to be sent before the review process starts for admission. And hence, the deadline of 15th June, at that point of time, all these documents should be submitted. So if you have any questions, what Dr. Gupta was mentioning about credentialing, you get the original transcripts, you send the original transcript directly in a sealed envelope, and let them ask questions. Are there anyone? Any questions? You want to go by screen by screen? Huh? Screen by screen. Questions? Huh? Who are connected? That's what I was like.
As soon as we will receive your application, your CV, and your pre-screening form, and we will send you the email. You need to start the application process. We will send you the link where you need to first click on that link. On this link, you will get the John Hopkins page, which is the first page. Like you can see now, this is the first page of the John Hopkins University, which is there. Then you will go to your admission process. Here in an admission process, you need to go to how to apply. When you are going to how to apply, there are the different departments you will get it. And the different departments which you will get it here. Then you get the departments which are the master programs which are there, the school-wide master programs or the doctorate programs. You need to select the MPH program here in this. When you select the MPH program from here, you will start with the first step, which is the essential step which you need to create it. That when you need to create your account, which you need to create it. When you are creating your account, you will get an account profile. You need to first fill your first name, that is your given name. You need to give last name, and the email address you need to give. Please provide your exact email ID from where you are willing to get all the information on the email ID. This is the email ID where you will first receive your PIN and you need to create a password on this email ID. As soon as you will receive a PIN from a John Hopkins site, you need to start logging through your user, that is through a PIN and through a password. When you will log in through your PIN and password, you'll get the website where it's showing the different pages and different tabs which you need to fulfill. The first one is the personal information. Then if you see on your right hand side, you will get the personal information, your academic program, your academic history, your employment history, your test score, your personal statement, tuition funding statement, and MPH applications and others, how you will check. Regularly, you can check this. When you start your application, first you need to be prepared with a personal statement, and you need to be prepared with a list of 3 recommendations where based to whom you are willing to recommend. When you start an application, we always prefer that you keep saving this application. You can log on again and again, you save it and close it. Again, whenever you are willing to fill this application, you can close this application and again reopen it through your PIN and password, and you can start your application again. The first page where is showing when you open your tab where it's giving a personal information, you need to provide your personal information like your first name, your last name. Then you are having the professional information. Then you are having academic program, academic history. That is all your academic history, like from where you have received your degree and what are your credentials are there. There you need to academic history you need to fulfill it. Employment history, those who already worked somewhere in some organization, you need to provide your employment history, that the organization name, your designation, and number of years you have worked there. That you need to prepare. You require 2 years experience
in the health sector.
In the health sector, that is the requirement for this. Usually, this course is there. Then you need to be prepared with your test scores, like IELTS score, or if you have given TOEFL, these scores, or the GRE or GMAT scores, you need to fill these test score, the columns which are giving in these test score, fill these scores. If you have completed your education in English, from which your institutional education is in English, then you need not to provide the TOEFL score. That is, that can be waived off. That is, the options are given in this, which you need to take in that options. In personal statement, like Dr. Joshi already mentioned and Dr. Gupta already mentioned, in this personal statement, please provide your personal statement. Prefer in a personal statement when you are providing, create your personal statement with your name on the top. Your name will be on the tops of each page, and then you provide your address your interest in your public health field. Then you discuss about your professional background, including your current position or the research which you have done. Then explain how you study in different programs, and why you want to come into this program, why you want to take this MPH program. That if you give this in a personal statement, that's good. Then you need to upload this personal statement. When you are up, there is a link is giving that upload document. Upload this personal statement here, save and continue. Then the next step which comes is the recommendations. Recommendation link, when you will click on a recommendation, there are two modes of when you are providing a recommendation. One is a manually, that is a hard copy, you will submit it to a Johns Hopkins University. The preferred one is that you will submit a recommendation, that is an online recommendation you usually prefer. They usually prefer that you will please. So there the requirement for this is that you will provide the last name of your last name and your first name, and to whom you are recommended, provide the complete detail of that person, please. Name of this designation and email ID and the contact number of this.
Who should recommend? Choose carefully. Your teacher or some eminent person, a professional. That should help you. Recommendations in United States are very important determining factor. Remember this. So please be careful about who is recommending you. What are his credentials? So choose your teacher or a professor. Choose some professional who has accomplished something in his life in public health or elsewhere, or in clinical or any field, management field or health systems. So you can work on this, who should recommend. So you can send, as Dr. Raghuvanshi has told you, that you can give the email ID and details of the persons who will recommend your application. So the Johns Hopkins will send a letter of request to that person to submit online recommendation for you. But please don't forget to tell that person, take his consent, that you want to write his name for recommending you. So he should not be caught unawares. That's why this letter has come to me. So please go to him or contact him. Sir, I want to write your name for recommendation, and you will get a letter from Johns Hopkins. So kindly do it so for me. So you have to take into confidence the person whom you want to recommend your application. I think this is very, very important. Another important thing that I want to share with you. So in addition to the recommendation letters, who is recommending you and what he is recommending? Important thing, it is a very rigorous program. So recommendation letter should at least say 3 things. You have good verbal and written English communication skills. You have the desired endurance to go through the program. And very importantly, that this is going to contribute in improving health of the people and make contribution in public health. So this should be essentially done. And then your academic performance. So the recommender must mention about these things. So there's a we can put up on our web an ideal recommendation letter. Maybe we can do that for you, so you can show it to your recommended that this is how we have to write. Another important thing, which is very important for admission at Hopkins, is your statement of problem or statement of purpose. Why you want to do Master of Public Health? What's your dream, what you want to be, and how this MPH is going to help you to build your career, as well as how can you contribute to the lives of people in your country or elsewhere. This is very, very important. Sharing your dream is very important. What you think you can be in future, you want to be in future. That's very, very important. And so tell very clearly, articulate it, that what you want to do, why you want to do, and where you want to be after doing MPH, and how you can make contribution in the lives of the people. That's very, very important for statement of purpose or statement of problem, whatever this section is.
Personal statement.
Personal statements. So maybe I request Dr. Raghuvanshi to continue.
If I can add before you on recommendation letters, what Dr. Gupta has said is that you should look for one, a recommendee whose academics, like your teacher or your another one could be your supervisor in your workplace. So that could be, but take special care that you don't recommend your colleagues of the same level. You don't recommend your relatives. You should be very specific while you're selecting the recommendation, that they should be, as Dr. Gupta has emphasized, they should be from the field of academics and from the field of professional research. So these are very important. And the second thing which I want to tell you here is John Hopkins prefer recommendation letter online. So when they get the information, it's good for them to send online. In case they don't want to send online, they want to print it and then post it. Request them to post it directly in a sealed envelope. It should not go through you. It should go directly from the recommendee to John Hopkins admin office.
After recommendation, if you see, then this is somehow that you are completing your application, you are fulfilling your applications. So at last, you are having check your application. When you will
any audience,
when you will click, then check your application. Every time they will show you that what things are incompleted, which you need to complete again. So you need to complete it that, and finally you need to submit that application, and you need to submit all your certificates. Hard copies you need to submit it, which we have given already, means the admission service mailing address, which is given at the John Hopkins. There you need to forward it through registered post or through courier. You can forward it.
No, registered, ordinary
FedEx or FedEx you can.
FedEx or is that other one? DHL or FedEx.
Couriers.
Courier.
Now, any questions? So we will talk about this later, where to go for credentialing. You can can they speak? They cannot speak. The first question is, and which is a very frequent question, that about the payment of fees. How do we pay for it? So let me tell you, you have to separately pay fee to Johns Hopkins in dollars and to IIHMR University in Indian rupees. This was the question from Mr. Anirudh. So the payment method, it could be through RTGS or it could be through bank transfer to Hopkins. So both ways we can submit our fee. Vijay Kumar has asked the payment needs to be towards IIHMR University as Johns Hopkins University. The payment has to be made to both. So if you look at the brochure, IIHMR University brochure or Hopkins brochure, they have given the payment schedule for the fees. So you'll see IIHMR schedule, you will see Hopkins schedule for payment of the fees. So this is the two separate fee components that we have to see. But it is total during the year $22,000. For India, it is converted into Indian rupees, and for Hopkins, it remains in dollars. We have other question from Supraket. Does IIHMR help with placements, or do the students have to go job hunting post the completion of the course? Let me tell you, this is quite an interesting question and a common question. Generally, students ask about the placement, and it is very natural. So we help in finding job. We do not do placement ourselves, but we have a placement committee. We explore potential employment organizations or consulting organizations or research organizations or teaching organizations in India as well as outside India. So there are opportunities globally. Whatever credentials of Johns Hopkins are globally, this degree has the same credentials. So you can hunt a job globally, and we at IIHMR University as well as Johns Hopkins University help our students to find a job suiting to their qualifications and levels. Naturally, one very important thing is, besides the degree that you acquire and the skill sets you acquire, what are the levels of comprehensions and competencies? That is more than academics that are required. How you deal with the potential employers while you are going through interview process with them. How do you perform in the interview? So academic performance is one thing, but how you perform at the time of interview and how you present yourself is very, very important for placement. But globally, you are eligible to seek job in public health. Then Naresh has also asked a question related to placement undertaken last year. The cohort 1 will be getting degrees in May 2015, but I think except one, all of them have got placement. So that is the performance about placement. The course is not yet over for cohort 1, so it's a continuous process. Shikha has asked a question about GRE. What should be my ideal GRE score to be eligible for this course? I want to tell the total of GRE score is 300. So we must strive at least a score of 250. It should not be less than this. This is what I would say. The next important thing that I want to share with you, if you are an MBBS medical doctor and have 2 or more years experience in the field of public health or healthcare, you are exempted from GRE. This is not a requirement then if you are experienced and you are a medical doctor. Then there is a question from Mr. Neeraj. Which agency does the credentialing for transcripts? Can you show that slide where this credentialing agencies? But I want to make clear one thing. Earlier, we required credentialing before admission. But now we have started facilitating admission processes. So credential can be done after admission. So don't wait for receiving credentialing of the documents. That can be done later. But you can see on the screen, these are the 3 important credentialing agencies. We have no relationship with them, nor we are endorsing them. But these are the common credentialing agencies globally for education in United States. So one is this World Education Service, Bowling Green Station, New York, USA. The second one is Foundation for International Services. This is which place is this? Washington. Edmonds, Washington State. This Edmonds is in the western US, west part of the US, Washington State. So this is the Foundation of International Services. The third one is in Milwaukee. This is Education Credential Evaluation. So you can see the web links of 3 organizations. They charge some fee for credentialing. So you can look at their sites, their processes that you have to follow for getting your documents credentialed. So these are the 3 agencies which do this credentialing. I hope, Neeraj, I have responded to your question. Next question is from Manan. What is the difference in application procedure, documentation, if the candidate is not based in India? Let me tell you, the procedure is same. Procedure is same. Once you have cleared the screening process at IIHMR University, you will be informed and you will get a letter from Johns Hopkins, wherever you are, whether you are in Nepal or Bangladesh or Bhutan or Sri Lanka or Myanmar, Afghanistan, Pakistan, anywhere. So you follow the same procedure as anybody else would do in any country. That is a standard procedure of application at Johns Hopkins University. Remember, admissions is a total prerogative of Johns Hopkins University. It is done by their admission office. You will get all admission information from Johns Hopkins. If you are admitted, they will inform. But this is you don't have to wait for credentials. You can submit your applications without credentialing. That is the point I want to highlight. But the procedures are same for all countries. I think I have finished with the questions that
There are some added questions related to fees. One is that the fee is to be deposited in 2 installments. One installment at the time of admission and another before you finish the coursework, which is after 6 months. So total coursework is of 1 year duration, and the total fee has to be deposited in 1 year first year duration in 2 installments. The second thing that people have asked is about whether this is a residential course. The answer is yes. It's a residential course, and for 1 year it will be a residential course at IIHMR Jaipur, and in that 1 year period there will be 1 term which will be taught by Johns Hopkins faculty online, but you will have to be in the campus of IIHMR. The additional thing which is there is that there is a winter course, Winter Institute course, which is done in Baltimore, and that is starting from first week of January and goes up to second week or third week, beginning third week of January, which is in Washington, and the fees which Baltimore, and the fees which has been deposited, your travel and your stay is included in that. So there's no extra expenditure on while you're going and staying there. The only expenditure is the living expenditure which you spend during this 15 days duration. The third thing which I would like to say is the next year, after you finish the coursework, there is a practicum, and this practicum is a 4-credit course which has to be completed minimum 100 contact hours, and can be done at the place where you are working, or any other place which you feel will be useful for giving you the practical public health experience.
In your own country,
anywhere you want to do it. So that's and your degree comes after you submit your practicum report.
Any questions?
Is there any other question?
Check if there are any questions. No questions? Are they writing any questions?
So, what I can say at this point of time is that, as Dr. Gupta has said, that start application process as soon as possible, and do it with preparation. When I say with preparation, it means sit and do your personal statement on a separate piece of paper or in a separate Word file, and then review it and then transfer it into your application.
You can also take your help of your friends,
and
or somebody to write your statement of purpose.
And keep these things ready while you're doing. There's always an opportunity for you. Once you save, there's always an opportunity to review it and then start again. So don't get worried that there's some mistake. No, even if you have saved it, you can still continue to do it the following time you log in. The second thing is, as Dr. Gupta has said, try to identify the persons, academicians from your college, from where you passed your graduations. Look for the referees from the place where you have worked for 2 years. So based on these referees, contact them inform them that take their consent and get write their names and send them to Johns Hopkins so that they can send the letter for requesting them to write a recommendation letter. When you do the third part is also a very time-consuming activity, which is getting the original transcripts from your teaching institutions. So please immediately start exploring and finding, going back to your institutions to get original transcripts. And get the original transcripts, send the original transcripts to Johns Hopkins in a sealed envelope. These are essential requirements for your application to be sent to the selection board. And if you don't submit these, then your name doesn't go to the selection board. So ensure that you get these things used. You have time about April and May and then mid-June. So don't wait for them. Do it as fast as you can and send it. The course for cohort 3 starts in October. It starts in October. So from June till October, you will get information of your admission status. And if you get admission status at that time, if you are a foreigner, then you start exploring your visa requirements. So you must have a passport ready to apply for a visa. Institute the letter which shows that you are admitted is good enough, a supportive document for getting a visa for this country. If you have any need for that support, then you can contact us, contact the university, and you will get that type of support. So these are certain things, and hence it is important for you to start off doing your application. Take your concentrate on and go step by step. Follow what you have on the screen. Go to the help desk of the Johns Hopkins site. If you still have any problem, revert back to us. We'll be able to help you out in resolving your. We already have a frequently asked question, and that can be also seen on our website. You will like to add on questions, frequently asked questions? They are available on the site?
Yeah, I think they are available on the site. You can have a look at the frequently asked questions file on IIHMR University website. And so even if you don't find those answers, you can ask us.
So the email ID is
mph@iihmr.edu.in. You can please write down to us if you have any question or any query related to. You can please write down to us. We'll get back to you.